Building software which creates shift schedules for employees, that's probably easy, right? You just add a button, press it, and the schedule magically constructs itself, like a coffee machine brewing the perfect cup with a single press, because of course everything falls into place that easily. Well, it's not that easy. Let me show you. Scheduling begins with people, but unlike machines, people aren't available 24/7. Employees typically have contracts that specify when and how much they're able to work. These contracts can limit weekly hours, restrict the number of days per month, and of course, include holidays. And there might be additional limitations. Specific labor laws or industry regulations can reduce the availability of employees even further. Labor laws often put a cap on the number of hours people can work in a single shift, or they require a minimum of hours between shifts. Because people need to sleep, they don't just run on coffee alone. We don't just need any employees, we want the right employees at the right place and at the right time. Skills vary, and a shift can demand a specific set of abilities. For example, when scheduling the shifts for a hospital ward, you might want at least one person each shift who is trained in critical care. Additionally, it could be that certain employees have to be paired together. An intern might need to be paired with their supervisor so they can be trained. And inversely, in some cases, employees should not be paired together to avoid potential conflicts of interest. Or maybe because they just don't get along, at least not until they've had their coffee. There might be cases where it would even be risky or irresponsible to assign a person to a shift. Employees with severe allergies should be restricted from shifts which would expose them to these allergens. An employee recovering from a recent surgery should probably not be assigned to physically demanding shifts. These so-called risk factors could make an employee ineligible for a shift. Getting the right people is one thing, but they also need to be at the right place at the right time. While in most cases a shift can be pinned down to a single time and a place, this is not always the case. If a day of an employee requires them to be in different locations, they should have enough time to move from one location to another. For example, a nurse in a hospital might be assigned to the emergency ward in the morning, but needs to be in a different wing of the hospital for their afternoon shift. The schedule should then allow adequate time to move from the one location to the other. And it's not just about being at the right place. In a globalized world, we might have teams who live in multiple time zones. Aligning these is always an interesting exercise. With all these challenges listed so far, it's clear that taking them all into account would be a monumental task for any human planner. Because this is such a complex task already, there is often little room left to create a schedule which takes into account personal preferences of an employee. For example, a parent of a young child might prefer to not work on Wednesday so they can go pick up their kids from school. Or an employee who is a bit of a night owl would prefer to always work the night shift. Being able to take employee preferences into account can make a real difference to the employee's job satisfaction and their performance at work. How do you add all this functionality in your software? Step 1, add the button. Step 2, connect it to the Timefold REST API and let our PlanningAI algorithms take care of the rest. It's that easy. Get started on app.timefold.ai today.